Okay, I got a story. I got another story sent in to me, and I know I've been getting a little carried away with the Sasquatch encounter stories on my channel lately. And for all you people that are enjoying the hunt stories and hunting information, don't forget I've got the Instagram page for How to Hunt, or me, Pro Guy 66, is loaded with exclusive hunting content nonstop. Like today, I put on a bunch of wolf hunting stuff I was doing just currently this afternoon. And you can go there, and I do have more hunt stories coming. It's just going to take a little while because, believe it or not, I'm actually helping a lot of people right now with this topic, all right? And if you're not into this topic, if you don't know anybody who has had one of these experiences, don't feel so left out, because it might not be that bad of a thing. And, and again, for a lot of you snivellers out there that are demanding proof, we said this numerous times, it's not the motivation here. We're not here to prove to you shit or to prove to anybody anything. The main motivation here is to stand up for the people who have seen these frickin' things and get their credibility back and respect back, and give them courage to get in the face of the assholes like you who insist on demeaning and discrediting good people who didn't ask for these experiences. Okay, that's what we're doing. And but to take it a little more further on this topic, you know, as I've led on to a bunch of people, I have been setting up the camera and filming where there is commonly a lot of encounters with these things going on just near where I live. And for a while there's a bunch of people sending me pictures. They've taken screenshots of my videos and circled things they said that were creatures and Sasquatches and shit. I don't really pay too much attention to it, but this particular photo here, you might want to take a look at this one. It's a little interesting. It definitely looks creepy to me, but it is what it is. It's funny, where I made this particular video where this photo screenshot was taken from the video, that was where I dropped about a 600-pound chunk of bait to start a bait pile for the indigenous people of Squamish. They're going to start trapping wolves, and something picked it up and carried it away. Didn't even leave a frickin' sign or a print. And where I filmed this video, that's where that happened. And as well, just over the height of land to my right in this photo is the Tri-Cooney Peak area where those guys filmed that one. So there's going to be too much snow for me to get up there now in a pickup truck. So like I was telling him, you know, I sent it off to a buddy of mine, Scott Carpenter. You heard of him, and like he was saying, he gets that all the time. And the only real way to confirm it is to go back up there and stand there and take a picture. But obviously, if I didn't think this one warranted a little attention, I wouldn't have put it up here for you guys to see. It is what it is. It doesn't really do much for me. If it is one, fine, fair enough. I don't really care. I've seen seen these things twice. I've had I don't know how many experiences with them, and I'm kind of over it. It's not my concern. But my big concern is getting credibility back and respect back to the people who don't ask for the shit and keep getting shit on. And I'm over it, especially the people who've dedicated their lives to serving our society, our communities, our countries. And that's why I'm sharing this additional story with you guys right away here. I know I've put up a couple lately, but I just had this one come in. And this is from a man who is originally from the United Kingdom. He went to Afghanistan, okay? He went there, threw his life on the line, went to war, bravery Mach 5. You can't get more braver than that. Offered up his own life, went over there, came back, survived, came back, moves to the United States and becomes a police officer to further serve humanity, to take care of good people. And he unfortunately had an experience with one of these Sasquatch beings and basically was laughed at and ridiculed and humiliated by his co-workers. How I don't even have words to accurately describe how that makes me feel. It makes me very, very angry. It makes me sad. You know what I mean? It's like I'm angry at the people who aren't sharing these facts with society. They are making me very angry. It's just a real sad state. So that's my motivation to keep going here. So again, for all you guys who might be getting frustrated with me and angry because there's not enough hunt stories being shared here, they're coming. I'll get them back and coming out to you guys. But right now, out of respect for this man right here and many like him and women and my grandfather, you're gonna have to put up with some of this for a little while longer because I'm not done. All right. I can hear a train coming in the background. Great, and my battery's dying. And I killed my charger by spilling a full cup of coffee on it this morning in the truck at 5:30. All right, you ready? I'm gonna share my life-changing experience with you, but I asked my email and my name to remain anonymous for fear of ridicule, as I've already experienced with family and friends. What a bunch of pussies. The people who ridicule people, the good people, are pussies. Got it? They're cowards, and they're pussies, and they're just scared. That's all they are. I'm from the United Kingdom, England specifically, and after serving 7 years in the British Army, moved to the United States and gained my residence. I'm now a police officer in I'll leave that out. 3 years ago, I was on duty at the end of a busy night shift, and I got a call asking me to attend a property where a resident, a lone young woman, heard lots of noise coming from the backyard and feared an intruder. It was roughly 4:30 a.m. Myself and another officer, who I'll call by his initials, we'll just say, I'll mix those up too. We'll just say it's AM, attended. The house is set about 3/4 of a mile from neighbors. And to get to the property, you have to drive up a rough track surrounded either side by dense tree cover. Me and AM arrived at the same time, and I followed him up, and we left our vehicle outside the property with our lights on. Straight away, the female came running towards us, crying her eyes out and frightened beyond belief. In between breaths, she told me she heard someone outside her window. Heard the sound of her garbage cans behind being moved. It's raining. In between breaths, she told me that she heard someone outside her window, heard the sound of her garbage cans being moved, and heard soft grunting or groaning. To me, it sounded like a peeping Tom or a stalker preying on a young woman, so the lady took shelter in AM's car. Myself and AM moved with weapons drawn to the rear of the property and could not see anything near the house. However, the garage cans had been tripped over. We shone our flashlights around the area, and again, nothing was seen. AM went back to the car and checked on the woman. I stayed and moved cans back against the wall of the house. Just as I was finishing, I had this feeling I was being watched. The hairs on my neck stood on end, and I had a tingle run down my spine. It was similar to when I knew I was being watched when out on patrol in Afghanistan. The tree line was maybe 55 to 60 feet back from the house, and I had my back to it when I was shifting the garbage bin. I stood and very slowly turned around, hand to my sidearm, when I saw a movement between the trees. Something, and I say something because I couldn't clearly see it because of the time of day, stood from a crouching position. It was an extremely bulky individual. At this point, I could only make out the outline. When crouched, its head seemed to be 4 feet off the ground, and from what I could gather, its shoulders were about 5 feet wide. I yelled at the figure. I can't remember what, but AM later told me he heard me yell and sounding panicky. As I yelled at this thing, I drew my sidearm, and it stood. All I can say is that it truly was massive, about 8.5 feet tall. I still couldn't see anything in great detail because I was still rooted to the spot. I couldn't move. I was in the weaver position with my gun held up when the figure grunted. It was terrifying. Its lung capacity must have been immense. AM was yelling and running around the house to get me and heard the grunt. The figure took off deeper into the trees, and I didn't follow. In fact, I didn't do anything except stay rooted to the spot. AM later told me he didn't see anything but heard the deep growl and thought I was being set on by a bear. The woman didn't stay home that night. We dropped her off at a neighbor's house. Myself and AM reported what happened to our superior officer, who recommended we get psych tested. Your superior officer is a douchebag. It soon spread around to colleagues that we'd seen Bigfoot and became the laughingstock of the PD. I decided not to mention it to my family, but the news eventually reached them, and everyone except my wife and my stepmother believed I had some sort of mental breakdown. That's pretty sad, isn't it? And all because we're not informed of the honest truth, and that's the only reason. AM left the police shortly after, and we lost touch. I'm still in the police department, but I'm extra cautious when responding to calls myself and at night. I keep an AR-15 in the car with a standard loadout, and I have the 12 gauge in the boot, or the trunk as you guys say, with slug rounds in just in case I need it. Something that night was warning me, and it wasn't friendly at all. There you go. So now we have another man who's dedicated his life to serving our communities and keeping us safe. He put his life on the line and went to war. And this is the respect he gets from the community that he's laying his life down daily to protect. Right? You know how weak that is? You know how frickin' weak and embarrassing and shameful that is? Obviously, it really makes me growl. And it should make every single one of you growl too. Because that is utter, absolute bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Oh well, the good thing is we have a lot of good coming and a lot of support coming. And we are definitely going to be turning this around, and we're going to open up some eyes. And you know, there's a lot of impatient people out there. A lot of you people are being impatient, almost coming across as douchebags when you text, demanding we or I cut loose with information we might have. And you know what? You're just going to have to wait. Okay? And to be straight up, there's probably about, I don't know, I'll bet there's going to be upwards of $30,000 spent to do this, and weeks. And guess how much money we're asking you for? None. All right? So you're going to have to sit back and you're going to have to wait, because this shit doesn't come overnight. And there you go. All right, I better take the chill pill. I'm just a little annoyed. I'm annoyed at that story. I'm annoyed at numerous other stories. I'm annoyed at the numerous people who are taking advantage of good people when it comes to this topic. Especially those idiots who are in TV shows. And people that are ripping people off and taking their money and taking advantage of people. People that are keeping the truths suppressed, while meanwhile pretending that they're actually researching this topic. It's getting a little old, and we're definitely doing something about it. It's kind of funny. On a funny note, I was talking to a few people the other evening, and they're going off about how and they were telling me how there's a few SASQUATCH Bigfoot community pages that were absolutely pissed off at me. And it's funny when you think about it. If you're actually angry with me for my approach to this topic, you are either one of two things. You are the people who are relying on getting money through the public for this topic to put in your pockets, or you are one of the douches or you're one of the douchebags who feel there is a massive need to keep the honest information away from the public. You're one of the other two, because all I've been doing is helping people, and that's it. And we were kind of laughing the other day about the reactions of the douches when I said out loud, one of the clear indicators of who you probably shouldn't be taking your information from are the people who are asking you for money. And the second you see somebody ask you for money, delete them.